It's Beers and Balls, it's Ellis and Will, and on this episode we're going to talk very, very briefly, not briefly at all, about how long a coach should stay with a group of players, i.e. their team, and when is a suitable time to switch up the coach.
Also, we apologise for the bad tripod wobbling. Stay tuned.
Well, hello. I want to talk to you about coaching. All right. We had this discussion.
Different, that.
We had this discussion very briefly the other day, but I thought, you know what? It's actually worthy of a good question. How long do you think a coach should stay with a group?
Yeah, I remember that conversation. It's a tough one because I think there's pros and cons for both sides of the coin,
Right.
so to speak. I think for a player that changes coach every year, every year that player's going to be on his toes.
Yeah.
He's not going to know what's to be expected, so he's potentially going to perform better. I mean, and we can go off something that happens in the Premier League quite often.
Right.
When a manager gets sacked, the team normally wins the week after.
New manager boom and all that.
Yeah, they normally do, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, like
Got
that.
points proof.
That is an actual thing. So to keep the fire under their feet, so to speak, rotation's quite key. But also, I don't know how to word the other
Consistency,
side.
probably.
It's obviously every manager wants different things. So like you develop one side of your game, and then if you've got the same sort of manager, you can keep going in that same direction, keep employing the same sort of skills, and progress that way. For me, it's a tough one, but I think as a player development, I think you should rotate at least 2 times a year, every 2 seasons.
Every 2 seasons.
Every 2 seasons.
And that's for the development of the kid.
For the development.
And is
of
that
the child,
from
yeah.
is that from U6 all the way through? So U6, U7, then you switch.
Yeah, again, that's probably the difference there. I think maybe U6, they want to get comfortable with a coach.
Right.
You know,
so you got to build that rapport.
Yeah, build the repertoire and all that sort of stuff with the coach. And again, like the last episode we spoke, when you start hitting 12, 13, that's when it gets a little bit more serious.
Okay.
You start playing in certain positions.
Yeah.
That's where your game develops more. Maybe that's where you should be swapping and going to either a different team, or if you're in a development centre, the coach should be swapped.
Right. Okay.
I think if you stay in the same team on a Sunday, especially, you stay in the same team from age 6 to 18. I don't think that's going to benefit you. I think you're only seeing one coach that wants one certain thing, and football is it's so changes, fluid. It changes. You know, like it's a very tough question, to be honest.
My opinion on it. Yeah, it depends on the age. 6, 7, 8. I don't think it really matters who's there. You're just facilitating the session, and you're teaching them things, but you're not really. It's not fully proper coaching. You know what I mean? You just teach them new things, and you're facilitating their development and their enjoyment of the game. Is a pivotal part. But I would say U18s should have a U18s coach, someone that's done it, been done the rounds. They're a U18s coach who knows how to interact with U18s, because they're no longer kids anymore. They're young adults. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then if you've got a U21s at your club, you've got a under 21s coach, and then obviously your first team. So that should be year on year. I think leading up to that point, I don't think it really matters.
No.
I don't think it really matters if you've got the same dude in charge. If you think, right, we're speaking about the rapport at the younger age group. Our group now, I mean, they've got a decent rapport with us. They know what we expect of them, right? And at the end of the season, it may change for them. It may change. Now, each player is different. Each person is different. Each person is going to go through a different way of life. Someone's parent could have just found out they may have just lost a granddad. Now, all of a sudden, the person they come to for their release has now gone. They've got a new guy in charge.
But don't talk to them.
That don't talk to them like we talk to them, or doesn't feel like they're a part of the plans like we thought they're a part of the plans. Could that have an adverse effect
on
their development?
Again, It depends on the player and on the coach, and it depends on a multitude of things. You know, like you say, coaching is not just about coaching football.
Yeah.
It's about developing them as a human being.
Yeah.
But if you go in just from the technical side,
Yeah.
then rotation would improve that. I think swapping them. But
Why not a different voice every so often? Why not once a month a coach comes into your group and delivers a session?
yeah,
You have to know the
sessions
kids.
are all good, but when it comes to game day, it's still going to be the same. I mean, again, it might be slightly different with goalkeepers.
Right.
Because you have different styles, managers want different things, especially out the goalkeepers. They want to play from the back, not to play from the back, the long balls and so forth. I mean, Brendan, a while back in the development centre, he went through 3 coaches in 1 year.
And that's another thing.
That's horrendous. Going through 3 coaches in 1 year is horrendous. But one thing it did actually help him, or teach him slightly, every coach wanted different things.
But did that help him?
Well, he had to develop them different things. So I think it probably made him a bit more rounded.
Okay.
A bit more all-rounded, rather than just one-dimensional. You know, rather than just playing short, he was trying to go long. I'm not saying it fully worked.
Yeah.
But that first coach wanted him to go long.
Yeah.
So he was trying to go long, and then the next coach come in wanted him to go short.
Right, but did it help him? What I mean by that is Coach A wanted to only go long. So Coach B comes in now, Brendan picks up the ball and whacks it. Brendan, what are you doing?
Yeah, it definitely didn't help him in that one season, because 3 coaches in 1 season, that's
right, but that one
atrocious.
season is potentially enough to say, fuck this, I don't want to do it.
In that one season, with 3 different coaches, definitely really was negative. But I'm talking if you go one coach wants this, then the next season a different coach wants this, you've already developed all of that, so you already have that in your bag. Then you want to develop this, then next year you want to develop that.
Yeah.
You know, so the different coaches could help develop different things. I mean, Brendan has always been in a team where he's always been under the cosh, always had to take lots of shots on board. This year is probably the first year where he hasn't had to do that, because on his Sunday side they've won the league. They lost 2 games. I'm not saying Brendan didn't make a lot of crucial saves, but not as many as normal. So he really what he developed this season more was his communication. Was his distribution, where they're playing the ball back. You know, that never happened in previous teams. They'd just kick it out for throw-ins or corners. You know, so he's developed that side of the game in a different team with different managers and different views.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, again, it does work for whatever team, whatever player you're dealing with. But like I say, I would. And you know what? It may be a personal thing. I would rather stick with the same team, because I think whenever you go into a team as a coach, you want to be like a project. Unless you know you're only going to have this team for a season or 6 months or 8 months or whatever, and you're done with them.
It depends on how far you want to go as well. If you really want to climb all the way up and make it the pro, you have to go under so many different coaches through all of that. You know, there's not one pro that's gone all the way through.
No, but I don't think they ever would.
That's impossible.
I don't think they ever would.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I don't think they ever would.
But me personally, as a youth, I played under 13s to under 18s.
So you would rather
under my dad.
Yeah.
My dad was a coach.
Yeah.
And I never left the team. I probably should have left. You know, I was one of the better players in the early years of that team. And then I got complacent and ended up being an average player in that team by the end of it.
Yeah.
You know, I think if my dad wasn't the coach,
you would have left.
I would have left and maybe grew. I'm not saying 100%. I'm not saying that's definitely the way it would have worked.
Yeah.
But that's why I always said I never really wanted to coach Brendan, because I didn't want him to get stuck with me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he needs to go and experience his other coaches and with the other ideas and.
So okay, so let's put obviously Brendan on the spot with the situation here, right? Brendan's got a coach, and mate, this gaffer, right, in the last season, has took Brendan from there to there, mate. His trajectory is fucking flying, mate. You've got academies looking at games. You've got people saying, who's he playing for? Like never before.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, the club that he's playing for with this coach, who has took him from there to there, they've said, right, he's had his season with you now, you're going to be moving into this guy. Are you going to be happy about that or not?
As a coach, as a parent, yeah, I'd like him to have another season with him. I definitely would. But again, look, can a coach only take a player so far?
Possibly.
Do you know what I mean?
How would we know if we keep chopping and changing?
Yeah, but But if you take them to that point and they get to that point, then the complacency will set in.
Will it though?
I believe.
Does that not depend on the connectivity and the relationship between athletes and the coaches? Is that not, because we're training with our boys. Obviously, we had one team. Was it a season or two? We've only ever done one. Actually,
one season we chopped every
but,
time.
But they know when it's time for a bit of a giggle, and they know when it's time to switch on. Now, I did take a team before the old team I had with Sky Blues. I took the team for the 5 years, and every single kid. Obviously, there was drop-off players. There was players that weren't quite cutting the mustard and would change because it was a selection process. But the kids that stayed there through the core were as attentive as they were on day one. They were fully invested. And I think with the amount of change, I don't think you allow the kids to be fully invested. I believe the decision should be solely down to the parents and the kids, depending on the age. There's an end of season review.
The thing is, with that side of it, I know you did great things there with them certain players, but there's always that what if. You don't know.
No, you don't.
You don't know. If they had a swap, maybe they would have excelled further.
Maybe.
You know,
yeah, we'll never know.
You never know. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of them things in life. You can't say that. Well, I did it this way and it worked.
Yeah.
But if I did it this way halfway and then changed it, it could have worked better. It might not have worked. It might have flopped. It might have flopped for one player. But it might have excelled the other player.
But again, does that interfere with a potential child's development? So a child develops in a democratic way, right? They like to have demonstrations all the time. They like to see, and it's visual learning and all that kind of stuff. That's what they got with you.
And the
other coach just comes in and starts barking orders out and never shows them anything because he has the incapability of doing it. But then that kid isn't going to benefit.
Again, it depends on how far this certain player wants to go.
Yeah.
Because this certain player has to learn all of that. He has to learn that some manager might just bark at you. Some manager might be visual. I mean, like the Premier League players now, are they guaranteed to get the same? Their manager chops and change so much, it's unreal. So in a way, you're preparing them for a professional career by chopping and changing your manager. You're preparing them for a professional career. Whereas if they just stick with the same manager and they just get used to just the visual side, as soon as they do make it professional, and then a manager comes in and he's not visual, he flops. You know, you have to teach the kid fully rounded.
Okay, so what about the mentality of the coach then? What about the mentality of the coach? You've got Coach A here, who is preparing his team and his players for the next level. For not now at U14, U13, they're preparing them if they become a U16, U17, and they know the roles and responsibilities of a right wing back or a holding midfielder or a centre forward. Whereas Coach B comes in, it's all about him. I want to win. I don't give a fuck about all this building from the back. I just want to win and make sure I'm holding the trophy at the end of the season.
What's the question?
So which one would you prefer? A person who's going to stick with it.
Which one would I personally prefer?
No, as a parent, you got this coach for a year who does that. You get this coach for a year, and he does that. And you think, which one do you want so far? Coach A, who's going to concentrate on the future, or Coach B, who just wants the now?
I want pretty much split down the middle.
So you want to win, and it doesn't matter how you win, but you want to try and play the right way.
Cool. That's why I said split down the middle. Because obviously, like as coaches, you want to win. You know, like the players, well, not coaches, the players want to win.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah,
you know, like Brendan's won his first league title.
Yeah,
you know, first time he's ever won a league title this year.
Yeah, of course.
And mate, he's over the moon with it. You know, like
of course.
But yeah, there's probably.
But not one of them kids in that team. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not one of them kids in that team fully understand the roles and responsibilities of their position.
Outfield players.
Yeah.
Brendan knows he's got to stop the ball from going
into goal. Brendan does.
He's got to stop the ball.
He's got one job.
Yeah. Well, one job. You know, let's not go there again.
The outfield players, still don't understand their full role of what they have to do. So is that coach?
I get what you're saying.
For the future.
I get what you're saying. Obviously, this coach here is not. He just wants to win this season.
Yeah.
He just wants to get that in a little feather in his cap. He's won the league.
Yeah.
Next season, he'll go on and...
No, he won't stay with us.
Yeah,
and always want to
next
win.
season he's going to go on and try and win again. That's what I was going to say. He's probably not going to leave because he's just won the league.
Right.
So he's probably going to go next year and try and win again. But this coach has obviously got a lot more for the kids.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more for the kids. The kids are going to develop under him a lot better because that's his interest.
Yeah.
His interest is developing them. But a sweet medium, you know, like, I don't know.
So what is the medium?
Someone that wants to win and develop at the same time.
And how do you do that?
By being a very good coach.
But how? But what qualities have you got to take from this guy? So you've got to think about the future, but play players, make sure they're getting 50%.
Well, I think
make sure they rotate positions.
Would you not say we are in the middle as coaches? Because we are big on the win, but we're also big on the development. And our players have definitely developed under us. And we have won every game apart from that one cup game. And now we're in the Junior Premier League finals coming up in 2 weeks, by the way. Big shout out.
Yeah.
Big shout out there. You know, so we are sort of in between.
Yeah.
Because like, but the difference, like we say, is the way that we've taught them to win is through mentality.
Yeah.
We're still developing them.
Okay.
But we've gone through mentality.
So we're in the middle, right? Just for argument's sake, we're in the middle.
Maybe.
Now all of a sudden, next season, put your kid in our team. Your kid's now in our team. We're in the middle. He's getting a good balance. They want to win. They're showing them how to win. You know, they have to lose how they have to lose, and they play the right way. They try to do the right things. And all of a sudden, you got that guy next season who didn't give a shit about being from the back. Goalie, launch it down there. I just want to win. You going to be happy as a parent?
No.
So why not keep this coach who everyone's happy with?
Because at the end of the day, it's not about my happiness.
But the kids are happy.
Yeah, but
they're
it's
learning,
not
they're
about
developing.
the parents.
But the kids.
You keep going on about what's your view as a parent.
But I'm saying for your child, you're seeing your
That's
child.
irrelevant.
You're seeing your child develop. Your kid comes home. Look, I'm happy. We did this. We did that. We're doing really well. We've gone 10 games unbeaten, etc., etc., etc. It's all going great. Now, at some point, those wheels will fall off. At some point, they will not go 10 games unbeaten. A loss will happen.
Yeah.
Did everyone still turn up for training? Yeah. Did everyone still committed to the course? Is everyone still buzzing for the finals weekend? Of course they are. Has anyone threw their teddy out and left? No, because they know they're getting a good product of what we offer.
Yeah.
But it's happened. We've left teams and they've got, on this scale, it's okay to make mistakes. It's not about the winning, it's all about development.
Yeah,
that team goes meow.
You've got the winning coach, the development coach, and the
soft.
Yeah, you didn't mention this coach.
Yeah, well, that one as well.
That coach, I don't want him to play for that coach. Them two coaches,
but by
you know, like here and there, but yeah, I know you might have to, and you might have to go for a season with
2 seasons
with this coach.
Well, that's going to be massively detrimental. That's why the teams have both gone.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely. I'm not saying we're being replaced by ducks, but these coaches
they're too soft.
They're too soft. Yeah, they're too much. I don't want to say it.
It's too much development without understanding.
I didn't want to say it.
It is.
But you said it for me. It's too much development.
We have to develop, but you don't understand the meaning of development.
Yeah.
You've got to want to win. You've got to want to play the right way.
That's why I said the happy medium is the perfect coach for me in that.
It is, but you're not going to find them all the time.
No.
So, but when you do find one, wouldn't you want to keep them?
Yeah, as a parent.
For as long as possible.
And as a kid, yeah, 100%.
So why change after 2 years?
But because it's not realistic. It's not realistic. Like, again, we'll go back to the Premier. I'm sure there's, like, Phil Foden loves Guardiola. I'm sure he does. You know, there's a big connection there with him, and the way he's come through, he might not have come through in other. Well, he probably will have in his class.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm getting at. There's some players that come through and they don't. I read something about. I can't remember his name now, but it's something Lawson, and I'm going to keep this quick because we're at 18 minutes. But something Lawson, he went and knocked on Fergie's door, and he'd just been released from Macclesfield Town, I believe, and he went and knocked on Fergie's door and said, "Can you watch my DVD?" You know, like, "Oh, I'm here," you know, like, watch it. And apparently Fergie watched it. Cut a long story short, he was on trial for 6 weeks. They didn't have enough room for him.
Yeah.
And he got injured, and he didn't end up making it. And now I can't remember the point of the story.
You were talking about changing coaches and all this stuff. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah. What had happened is when he got injured, he was getting affiliate. Everything was all paid for, and he was still part of the coach's plan. A new coach come in with a totally different and just his rehabilitation was out the window because he was like, who's he? I've never seen him play.
Yeah,
Never seen him play. You know, like he was an under 18s, under 20s. Yeah, who's he? Never seen him play. Not interested in him. Off he goes. You know, so that happens in the top level.
Yeah,
so
it does.
So again, it's just.
But we're not dealing with pros that are getting paid.
I know,
for
but
it,
it's conditioning them for the potential that they could be a pro one day.
But that's why I'm saying at 18, 21s and first team, that's why it does change. That's the preparation phase. I don't think you need to prepare 13-year-old. They're miles away from it.
They are.
They need consistency and they need quality.
I don't think there's any harm in preparing certain kids for it.
Well,
because certain kids are destined for it.
Maybe.
Certain kids are destined for it.
Maybe.
Certain kids, you know they're a pro by 13.
Maybe.
Anyway.
I don't think you can tell that at 13, but okay.
I think you can.
Well, that was good. Good discussion there.
It's a long discussion, this one.
Thanks for tuning in.